Hey, it's Trueflight here. We're back in Star Trek Online. This time we're taking a look at the Andorian Escort. This one is the I can never remember which is which because there's three of them. This one's the Khyzon. There's also the Kumari and the Charal. They're all pretty much the same. They have different loadouts. The Kumari, I think, has 5 tactical slots. The this one's a science ship. It has 4 tactical, 4 science, and 3 engineer. And the Charal has 4 engineer and 3 science. But this is one I've actually been working on for a little bit. I actually built this ship when I did the temporal missions when they first started. And then of course here I started my Andorian character who finally got a hold of the 3-pack of these, and I love the ship. So as far as our loadout goes, we are running dual cannons up front. We're running turrets in the back. Turrets as satellites and some other stuff we'll get into. But as far as the weapons, the quantum phase dual heavy cannons here are probably one of my favorites. Unfortunately, you're limited to only one of them per ship, but they are a very mean weapon, and they're part of the quantum phase set, which we have the complete set on here, which is nice. Then we have 2 just plain old Andorian dual heavy cannons. These come on the various ships, as well as the fact you can buy them at the dilithium store. The ones that come on the ship, oddly enough, can't be upgraded. They're stuck where they are, and they're white with no bonuses, which is what I've got on here right now. The ones that you can buy are this here. I don't know if you can upgrade them either. You can't upgrade them either yet. They come as a Mark 11, and at least have stats on them, so I'm gonna be getting one of those. You can see there's the regular one, there's the dilithium store one. I really hope that they fix them so that they can be upgraded. I really like them on there because they're blue. It's more of a look thing than a damage thing. I could go out and get some biomolecular ones or whatever the good ones are now and do a lot more damage, but at the same time I lose that blue look. So for now they do plenty, but definitely going to be replacing them with something in the future. And then of course we have the Kumari phaser wing cannons. These come on all of the Kumari ships, or all of the Andorian ships I should say. And they're basically a weapon that sits on your wingtips. They fire phaser damage. They do a lot of damage, and you can even get a console to separate them and have them fly around on their own. It's kind of cool. And they're just a decent all-around weapon. You can see my best gun in here has got a 529 DPS. They only have 725, so they're already above that. I do have them up to Mark 14, though I do not have these raised up yet. But that's also the numbers on the ship. When you look down here, of course, they always do more when you have all your consoles in. Looking at 1059 DPS on the quantum cannons, 1000 almost even on the Andorian plain vanilla ones, and 1451 on the wing cannons. I contemplated putting a cutting beam on here, and I still might do it. I just don't have the console space to put the console for it to really boost it up. For torpedoes, we are running the quantum phase torpedo, which is another part of that set. Having the 3-piece set together gives us a really nice weapon on there. It's a decent output on these, kind of a slow reload time for them. 551 DPS is okay for torpedo, but we have some stuff on there that bonuses our recharge time by, we actually have a 20% chance of it being reduced by 5 seconds, a 20% chance of it being reduced by 4 seconds, as well as a bunch of other stuff from our various consoles and things, so kind of neat. They do have a bonus to high yield. I'm not sure where that comes from, if it's from the torpedoes themselves or one of our consoles, but I don't use high yield, I use spread. Should really look into that though. I've just always been a fan of spread. For our rear turrets, we're looking at 276 on there. And which one's which back here? It's like 520, 552 actual. Sure, it's always a lower damage, but they have that 360-degree arc, which is nice. For consoles, haven't got around to outfitting this ship yet. I just got it not too long ago. So we're running a bunch of just standard tactical phaser relays here. Not even the best ones. I've got some greens in here. Only Mark 12s. 28, 26%. These are all going to be replaced with vulnerability locators when I get the chance and the dilithium to go pick them up. For our science consoles, we have a universal here is a phaser dispersal array. This is one of the ones that comes with the Andorian ships. This combined with a wing cannon and the what's the third one? The induction relay, which we'll get to, all do give us the synergy set for the ships, which is nice. This one gives you the wing cannon overload. Okay, so they do say on there. The overload makes it fire basically one massive round, which is this one, I believe. Wing cannon overload, yep. 13,000 DPS to the target and other targets within 2K, so it has a blast damage on it too. Those are really cool. They do take a second to charge up before they can fire, but you have 30 seconds between when you hit the button and when it goes away to fire that shot off, which is kind of cool. The next one we have is the universal wing cannon platforms. This is the second piece of that set. This one allows us to separate the wing cannons off, and they actually circle around the ship kind of like a pet and do extra DPS. They don't go far from your ship. They don't wander off like normal pets, although they don't go as fast as you, so you can't outrun them. But they're really cool. They have a really quick recharge time, so you can keep dropping them off. And always have those two extra little fighters basically flying around and shooting. Next we have our temporal disentanglement suite. I think this is the only piece of this set I'm running basically for the crit chance and crit severity bonus that's on there. Shield capacity is nice, as well as that little bonus to auxiliary. Next we have our tachyon induction relay. This is the third piece of the set for the wing cannons there. This one actually gives you a another charging ability on your cannons, but this one fires almost instantly. It doesn't have to power up like the other one, and it lets you fire a high burst down here that deals 5,163 shield damage to each of the target shield facings. On a smaller ship, it pretty much can knock out a shield in one shot for a few seconds, where it would normally take you'd have to chew it down one facing at a time. On bigger targets, not quite as effective, but still can take a nice chunk out of people's shields. Next we have our Trellium deplating. As I said before in one of my videos, if you've got a slot available for it, it's an excellent one. You can see this one's still at Mark 12. I haven't done a lot of work on this ship since I got it, and got some a little bit of equipment on there. Not too much, but haven't done too much work on leveling up the stuff, because once I bought this ship I started saving up for the Khyzon. So next we have is our universal quantum phase converter. This one's kind of cool because it has that phaser damage bonus, so it counts as basically a 5th tactical relay. I almost went with the Kumari version of the ship that already has 5 tactical slots, and then you can use this on top of it and get 6 tactical consoles to boost phaser damage. But I didn't like the bridge officer loadout and things like that, so I ended up going with this version instead. This console though is nice, gives us a bonus to drain expertise as well as some auxiliary power. It also has a cool ability that removes auxiliary power disable conditions after 1 second, so if somebody hits you with something that knocks out your aux, it comes right back, which is nice. And then finally we have our plasmonic leech, because I run pretty much every ship I have with one if I have one laying around. They're just a great all-around console. I have a couple phaser turret satellites. I use them every now and then. They're kind of fun to run in, drop. Escorts are really a hit and run class, so you fly in firing all your guns, fire off your torpedo barrages, do what damage you can, and then you turn and get away, come back for a second run. Dropping a turret on your way out just gives you something to kind of keep shooting while you're going, because you only have the 2 rear-facing weapons as you're pulling back away. Right now we're running the Soul set on here. I think they're all very rare purples. Have not leveled them up though, so they're still sitting at Mark 12s. I just like that discharge repair nanites ability on the bottom there that you get for having the whole set. Ideally, again, I'm going to probably swap this one out with an Iconian set, but I might try something different since this one's an escort, not really a cruiser. That Iconian set's great, but it seems to work better on cruisers, so see if I can't find something better to use on this when I get to that point. But I'm going to upgrade all the weapons and stuff first. And then our warp core is the obelisk one that came with something. I think it came with the obelisk carrier, to be honest, or at least from one of those mission lines. But it's nothing great, but it's the only one I had that really had any abilities on there. And it's not terrible, it's just there's better out there. I just don't have them yet, haven't really worked on them that yet. So eventually I'll get that up as well. This is a T5u ship, so being upgraded, we have access to these different abilities down here. First one gives us accuracy bonus. The second one is a defense bonus. Third one is kinetic damage and energy damage bonus. And the final one is a crit chance bonus, which is nice. Onto our skills. This one I went full tactical and engineering. I set this up before I found out about that probability manipulation ability, so I don't have access to it. Probably going to redo it at some point to get that. The ability you get from the tactical tree, this focused frenzy, is not that great. It's really good ability, but it only affects a single target. Once that target's dead, it's kind of wasted. So it's nice for the one target you're fighting. It's good in boss fights, but that's about it. Whereas the probability manipulation comes back quicker and gives you a really nice bonus all around to anything during its duration. So for that one, the engineer one, I honestly haven't even played with that much, but I'm not a big fan. I think I only had one ship that actually had it, and they respect. So this is probably going to change to be more a science build, and then probably the tactical on the side to boost damage. But for now, that's how it's set up. For traits, pretty much the same ones I usually pick. A little bit of alternatives for this specific ship. We have Shield Technician to boost our shield. We have Projectile Training to boost the damage on our torpedoes. We have Operative to increase our crit severity and crit chance. We have Innocuous to reduce our threat generation and increase crit severity. We have Cannon Training to increase the weapon damage on our cannons, because we're using a cannon torpedo loadout on this. It also boosts the turrets, which are considered cannons, which is kind of cool. We have Elusive, which gives us a bonus to our defense. Not sure if we're going to keep that one. I haven't really unlocked everything yet, so there's still a few I might cycle in for that one. We have Techie. Gives us hull restoration, hull regeneration bonus. Living Hull, which gives us an in-combat hull regeneration bonus. That's another one I might cycle out depending on what I get. I like this point blank range one here. It gives you a bonus based on your range to target. The closer you are, the bonus damage you get, up to 2 kilometers. No effect past 6. Maximum range is 10 anyway. So you're always pretty much within those numbers. So I may take that one in place of one of the other ones here soon. And then finally we have Bulkhead Technician. 10 extra hit points for your hull. That goes with the extra 10% shield up here. They're always nice together. For Starship traits, we have non-linear progression. It's a really weird one. You actually get bonuses for flying in reverse. And it's from the temporal lines, basically, because you're turning back time so you can reverse damage to your ship. It gives you a heal. And I don't use it that much because the reverse speed on these ships kind of sucks, but there is times when you don't feel like swinging around for another pass and you can just throw it in reverse and back up, keeping all the guns forward. Next we have improved critical systems. This one is every time you use a emergency power bridge officer ability, you gain a crit damage and crit chance buff for a short time. Doesn't stack, but resets every time you use an ability. Don't really think we have a lot of abilities on the ship to actually trigger that. I don't think we have any. So that was there from the previous ship before I bought this. I was flying a Tholian ship, so I haven't even swapped that one out yet. Actually does us no good, so we'll replace that right now. Next up we have the best defense. This one gives our attack patterns a hull healing buff along with their normal effects, which is kind of cool. We only have attack pattern Omega and Alpha on here, but that's more than most ships. Usually you only have one, so having two is nice. And we have unconventional tactics. Activating brace for impact increases your damage for a short period of time because you have bonus to your attack. Basically, when you're going to do your attack run, you hit your brace for impact. It boosts up all your damages and your defense and resistances, as well as your damage because of that. I don't know if we do have things that can use this. So we're going to add subsystem redundancies to replace the one we took out. This one is whenever you fire a beam overload 1, 2, or 3. Oh no, we don't have those on this ship either. There was a reason. I think that's why we had the other one. We didn't switch it because neither of the other two I have unlocked right now I can use. So that's something we're gonna have to find another ship and grind out a T6 ability. I can get the one off the Federation Dreadnought, I think, because he has access to that. So we'll have to work on that. For space reputation, first thing we have is enhanced rending shots. Every time you land a non-critical hit, you get a crit chance bonus, and it stacks up to 10, so you can get up to a 15% crit chance bonus. When you hit and get a crit, it resets that, but then it starts building up again. Very nice ability. We have Omega Kinetic Shearing, which gives our torpedoes bonus damage over time, which is really nice. We have the Energy Refrequencer, which directed energy attacks will heal me for a portion of the damage I do. And then we have Chrono Capacitor Array, which reduces the bridge officer recharge ability speed by 7.5%. Always nice to have your bridge officers come back up, especially on a hit and run ship. I can always have one of my cannon barrages here up, rapid fires, or my torpedo spreads, and tactical team. Usually run one of these. I'll run the second one of each on my first run, swing back around, run the first one of each. The first ones are weaker, but the refresh times, the cooldown times on them alternate that way. For our final active reputation abilities, almost the same setup I have on most of my ships. I'm going to actually clear the Nanite Cloud ground one. I will actually, because I rarely ever use it. Of course, I don't have any room on my hotbars, but we'll see for that. But the Refracting Tetrion Cascade is a chain type weapon. I've talked about it on my other ships. I think all of them have it. Basically, when you fire it, it's got shorter range, but when it hits somebody, it reflects to every other target within range, or a couple other targets within range, but kind of links them all together and does extra damage. Kind of a neat thing. This one, I think, is the only ship who has this. It's the Anti-Time Entanglement something. It's cut off. Will it tell me the whole name? There we go. Anti-Time Entanglement Singularity. And it basically creates a bubble around the ship that you fire it on, and causes physical damage to anybody within it, slows them down, potentially locks them in place depending on how bad it hits them. And enemies only, not friendly ships. But it's a decent, yeah, it says here it's 1,000. I think it's higher than that on the actual ability. Let's look on there. Nope. 1,069 physical damage each second they stay in there. The singularity lasts for 12 seconds. Starts at 4K radius and then slowly shrinks. It also reduces flight speed and turn rate by 75%. 25% chance of holding them still. It also has a 12% chance of holding against other players. I don't really do PvP, so it's not that big of a deal. But really cool ability. I like that one. And of course, the biomolecular shield generator, which I've talked about before, fires that little bubble of protection. If you're inside the bubble, you gain a big shield regeneration bonus as well as a reduction to the damage to your shields. And then we put the quantum singularity manipulation on there just now. I did have medical nanite cloud. I don't like doing ground stuff. I really don't care about them. But the quantum singularity gives us that cloaking ability with the ability to still fire our weapons, which is really cool. And then for our crew, we've got 2 guys to boost the recharge time of our torpedoes, 1 to boost the damage. I might actually swap out one of the recharge times for another damage one if I get him. And then 2 guys to reduce bridge officer ability times. And that's pretty much it for the way the ship is set up. I'll actually go out and blow some stuff up with it. As I said before, but even with the crappy weapons that are on here, it puts out a decent amount of damage, so.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Like that. There's mines chasing me.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target shield activated.
And I got caught in a tractor beam. It's not what we want to have happen. Oh, I didn't even see those 2 jump in. Might need the thing that gets evasive maneuvers back quicker, because that's what lets me get in and out.
Target shield activated.
Gotta pick all this stuff up. There's too much out there. There we go. That beam there is actually the set bonus for that quantum set we have on there. Nice little weapon.
Target shield failed.
I think tears right through stuff pretty good though, I think. And that's with crappy weapons, so can't wait till I get it fully equipped. Give everything a second to cycle back through. I have found recently, though, that for some reason the cannon rapid fire will actually, like that, count you as being attacked, and then it knocks you out of your faster speed. I think this is the last group of them here. I hate those tractor beams. I got him before I got back in range. Anyway, that's pretty much a look at the, oh, shut up. I want to talk to you. That's a look at the, Andorian ship. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.